Hello, hello. How's everyone doing? Hello, welcome to a new program, new segment of This and That. My name is Cesar Saavedra, and I'm here bringing you all the latest about the happenings in Calgary, Alberta, and Canada as well. So I hope my mic is fine. I hope you can hear me. We're going to start in a few moments. We were delayed today. My apologies. It took a bit longer to get things going, but we got things fixed for the most part. The print didn't want to work. Some things didn't want to cooperate, but here we are, and I hope that we're going to have a good program. So the first thing that we'll do is that we are going to throw out on the screen here the logo here. So here it is. This and that there, right in that corner right there. There we go. And also, we're gonna start with our topics today. So let's bring out this um, the um, the program here. So let's do it this way. All right. So first, we're going to talk about the water emergency update. What's been happening in the city with this emergency? Then we're going to talk about the happiest and most livable cities in the world. There were some reports that came out, and we're going to see where we measure up in Calgary and elsewhere for Canada. And also the Chestermere election results. As you know, we talked about this last week, and there were some by-elections that happened in the city of Chestermere, just to the east of Calgary, and there were some things going on there as well. So we are going to talk about that. And of course, as the new leader for the NDP in Alberta was chosen, Nenshi. Well, there are some happenings, and there were some also response from the UCP, the United Conservative Party, led by Daniel Smith, our current premier in Alberta. So we're going to talk about that as well, because there are some news about that, and I think it's going to be good for us to touch on that. So before we start, I wanted to thank everyone for watching this. Please subscribe, share, comment, like you see down below there. And also like the video. All the help that you can give is welcome. And as well, we are going to, I am going to also let you know that you can also help out the channel, keeping the lights on by scanning this QR code. This QR code will let you buy me a cup of coffee. So always good to have a cup ready to go. To get things going. So it will be much appreciated if you're able to do it. One cup of coffee is about $3 Canadian. There are no added fees, and this is all happening on the Amazon infrastructure, so it is very safe. This is how it will look like when you bring up the QR code on your phone or device. You will be able to support the channel, support the program for so it can see one more day. So thank you for that. And let's start with the program here. I think we have a lot of information, and I want to be able to get to everything. So I'm going to be looking to the side because I wasn't able to print my sheet. I would usually have a piece of paper in front of me, and I would see what I need to follow up on. But because I couldn't print today, I'm going to just look at my other screen here on the side, and hopefully that is not too distracting. I'm sorry about that. So let's keep going here. So we are going to put this back here. We are going to keep the QR code in the corner here for you to take a look at that as well. And we're going to start. So we said the water emergency update. So lately we've had some progress. So things are running along very well. so to speak, the city of Calgary has managed to get things going, and we are in the last stages of getting this resolved. So everything's been reinforced. The cement has dried, and now they are just trying to flush the pipe and to stabilize the system. So they are going to release the flow of water slowly, as you can see on this image here. We are just stabilizing the system, so we can detect if there are any failures or cracks still to take care of. Hopefully not. Hopefully this will be the end of the process, and in the next 24 to 48 hours, I believe that we're going to be back to normal. So that is great. Now, what else? Here, so this is this image here. As you can see, stabilizing the system is one of the last stages in this process. Then also we have to talk about the water consumption. We have done very well. As you see here, the target was to be at the 450 million liters of water until this emergency is happening, and we managed to do that for the most part. We were a bit high in the last couple of days, but we have managed to be under the target, so that's good. The mayor of Calgary, Madam Gondek, has praised Calgarians about that, and and also we got some rain in the last few days that also allowed some people to gather water, just for watering plants, the lawn, and things like that. So that also helped out a lot. Then what do we have here? And yes, just some just some suggestions for the public. Still, the emergency is in place, so still, make your showers short. Be Don't be doing your laundry too often. All right, I have a roommate here who likes to do that, so it's always good to let just the people in the house, let them know that we have to do a little bit more for a couple of days, and we'll be good to go. And also we got there the dishwasher. Make sure that you have a lot of dishes there, so you do a full load. And of course, flushing the toilet. Let's flush the toilet, but let's not just be go crazy with it. Let's take our time and then flush as little as we can. Then we can talk about so this notice here that you see on the screen came out today, to some residents, letting them know that some of the operations, the programs, were going to go back to normal in terms of the pools. Some programs that have to do with water, indoor pools, rinks, and then of course the showers within also these establishments. In my experience, when I go to the gym, right, the gym had closed their showers. There were a notice there that we couldn't use it, and I'm sure that's going to be lifted in the next 24 hours or 48. So that is great. Now I'm just going to make sure everything's running. Hopefully we get some questions today. If not, you can rewatch this program, and you can also be up to date with what is going on. So thank you very much for your support. Like I said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this program with your friends, especially if you're in the province of Alberta. We're going to talk a lot about things that are going on here this week and in the coming months. So that is going to be very helpful for our program to get some viewership. So thank you very much. Now, let's move on here. I just want to make sure that everything's running along here. Great. Okay, looks like it is. Excellent. So getting my notes back up on the screen here. There we go. All right. So we were talking about that, and also we are going to talk about some things that happened in the last couple of days, which was a bit unfortunate. There was a fire on June 23rd in the area of Mackenzie Town. northeast, I believe. And as you see on the screen here, the residents had to evacuate the premises. And you can see on the other screen there, in the morning, you can see the damage. It pretty much destroyed all of the top of this building, which were condos, which were residences, and people had to be removed and just relocated. So that's something that was unfortunate. And during this fire that happened about a week ago, on this fire, there were about 3 million liters used to quell the fire. So you can see how important it is to conserve water, because for the situations, it is going to be needed for the fire department to do their job. So thank you for everyone who's been uh, doing their part, and for this to help in these instances, these tragedies with the fires. There was also this Sunday. So let's see, looking at my calendar here, I'm not looking at up in the sky. This Sunday on the 30th, I believe it was, on Sunday, June, about 2 days ago, there was another fire, and that was at the old beautiful um, brewery, in the area of Ramsey, near Inglewood. So this was very unfortunate. About 2 in the morning on Sunday, the fire department were called in. Here, and they had to just control the fire. It destroyed a lot of this establishment, and it is closed for now. And on this one, even though it was a smaller fire, they used about 1.2.3 million liters of water to do the job. So again, you know uh, this is why conserving water is important. And I think after all this experience, all this that we had to do for the last couple of weeks, is going to be very, I guess, beneficial going forward, right? To be aware, to keep in mind that this resource, the water, is very important, and to just be very diligent, very responsible with it. So I wanted to share that with you. Very unfortunate that this establishment was also affected by fire. Apparently, about 10-15 minutes after they closed, about 2 in the morning, something went wrong, and it caught fire, and that is what happened. And then we hope that they can recover and come back, because apparently it was a very nice place, and I never had a chance to go. So hopefully, more people can take advantage of this area and can maybe experience that place again. Now, continuing here, now we're gonna just shift gears here. I need some water here. I'm just my mouth is dry a little bit. So, one moment, please. All right. So, shifting gears here. I'm going to just forgetting to add some things here. One moment, please. Let's see here. So while I'm not doing anything here, just finding my buttons. You can comment. Let me know what you think about all this information, and maybe we can have a chat. And that is also good. Since we're live, this is a good time to just you know. A bit of back and forth. Thank you very much for everyone that is watching, that will watch later. It is very appreciated. Now, just going to take a look here at so we already talked about our topics for today. Forgot to throw that banner on there. We also talked about buying me a coffee. Thank you very much. You can scan the QR code right there in the corner. And then also we talked about the Calgary water emergency up to now, and we are continuing on now. The next topic, I guess we can say the second topic tonight, is about you know how happy are we as a country, as a city, right, in Calgary. So I found there is a report from 2024 here, the World Happiness Report, that places Canada as a country On number 15, now I believe that Canada was a bit higher in this list in the past few years. So I think we might have dropped down a little bit, right? There may be some political issues, maybe people not happy with governments, whether it's local or federal, right? National government. It is good to be in this place, but I think we can do much better, and I think that may improve in the near future. So number 15, Finland, number one, Denmark, Iceland, and so on, and of course those Scandinavian countries who are often at the very top of this list. So congratulations to them, and it would be nice to visit them once in a while as well. So good for you. All right, now going along here. Now there is another. This one is just a second table of this report. Pretty much, it's very interesting because the happiness of the youth in the country, age 30 and below, is actually much, much less in Canada. And this is a bit odd because I was reading that usually the trend is that as you get older, you get a bit more less happy, right? So usually that is the trend, right? As you get older, you lose some of your happiness. But it seems that young people in Canada are very concerned with their future. They're not seeing the opportunities that their parents might have had, and they're a bit worried, right? There is a lot of talk about the Gen Z, Gen X, the millennials, being very, I don't want to say sensitive, but being aware of things, being maybe being worrying about things, so maybe this is a little bit showing that in this report, where the youth in fact are driving this happiness down, and because they don't feel that they are being heard, or they are being taken into consideration in terms of the economy, social issues, how their future is going to look like. So it'll be interesting to see what happens at the federal election in the next couple of years, and we're going to touch on that in a few moments, because we are going to talk about national politics in a moment. So let's move on from there. Now, there is another report that is done by Gallup, I believe, or The Economist here. So here it's about the most livable cities. Now, I'm just going to find my notes here. So as you can see here, this is an annual survey that rates about 173 cities across 5 categories. These are stability, healthcare, culture, environment, education, and infrastructure. So I think that was 6. Yeah. So they rate these cities, and well, we ended up in Calgary, as you can see, that little number 5 there. That is us, right? So that is a very interesting, right? We are number 5 here. So I think that we are doing very well in terms of the city, right? So I think we're ranking higher than the country, right? The average of the country, we are above that, and that is good. So that is, good. And then you can see number 7, Vancouver is down there. So that is also something that's that you can, wonder about. If we are like this in Calgary, right? If we are number 5, what is it to be maybe living somewhere else in the country? Do you notice the standard of living drop, or is it just perception perhaps? So that is very important. I thought I shared this with you. Calgary is still number 5, and I think that's at least we can with the water issue and everything, we're still maybe we might drop a bit in the next report. But in any case, I think people are, for the most part, happy, I'm going to say, but I'm sure there's going to be people who don't agree with me, but that's okay. Here we are, we can disagree, right? So by all means, please send me your questions and your comments. Now let's move on here for the next part. Now here, yes, now I wanted to touch on corruption, and why I wanted to do that, because we're going to talk about Canada and corruption a little bit, just in the terms of the city of Chestermere in our neighbors here. Uh, that we are in Calgary, Chestermere, just beside us. So I want to touch on this. So Transparency International is, of course, an institution that measures the perception of corruption globally. So it says there the perceived levels of public sector corruption in 180 countries and territories around the world. So the public sector has to do with the perception of how well governments handles things and how residents perceive their governments, right? So this is interesting, and I wanted to just follow up on that because Canada actually is number 12. That's 76. There's a bit misleading because that is actually their score. So the higher it is, the better, right? So we want to be at 100 there. But in terms of comparing with other countries, we are number 12. So I guess that is not too bad, right? We are a country that, for the most part, is, we don't feel or see scandals, corruption scandals as often as you see maybe in the States or other parts of the world. I mean, south of the border, I mean, south of the equator, right? Including Mexico and, and Caribbean countries, they're very riddled with corruption. And that is something that is very concerning, right? I'm part of that, community as well. So it is very sad that that is a problem. Like you can see here, I just have, some of these, this is just the first part of the table. So there are much other countries that are much lower, right? So Canada here is ranking 12, so that is not too bad, I guess, right? But I wanted to touch on this because we had last week we talked about the city of Chestermere, right? What happened there? There were some the mayor and councilors were acting in a way that it wasn't correct. So what happened there was that they were removed, as we talked about this last week, in the city of Chestermere. They were removed, right? Because there was an investigation about mishandling funds, mishandling uh, just the resources, buying things that they weren't supposed to, selling things that they weren't supposed to. And the treatment of staff was also something that was also in the report, that there were a lot of complaints. The staff worked in fear. They had no pretty much say in what was going on. And it was a very hostile work environment, as the report said. Now, this on the top left there, that was the mayor, and which was Jeff Colvin, and the other three councilors were removed. There was a by-election announced to go to the to vote again, right? To the polls again. Not the polls. What do you call that? The booths, right? To go and vote, and they were actually allowed to be reelected, right? So that's just, there is a red flag in my mind. I don't think they should have, but they were allowed to. Now, I guess you could say that the good news is that this gentlemen who were not doing things that they were supposed to, were not reelected. So the people of Chestermere did not reelect these individuals. And actually, what I saw here, which was interesting, was in the 2021 election, right, initially when they took office, there was 4,700 votes casted. Okay. Now, in this by-election, you would expect that there would be less votes because it's not a normal election, but actually there were more votes. There were about 6,300 votes. About 1,500 more votes than the first time. So that means that this issue really touched the city of Chestermere, and they felt compelled to go and vote and make their voice heard. It makes sense because things have not been handled the right way. Then they wanted to make sure that they're involved, and maybe to pay a bit more attention to the politics. Even if it's a small city like Chestermere, it's still something that is needed because, like we said, corruption, even though Canada is not a corrupt country, so to speak, as much as other ones. There is also the possibility, for a human behavior to go in a way that we don't want it to, but they do go there sometimes, right? So that is what happened there. And one of the counselors who resigned to be a mayor, a candidate for mayor, he won. So Mr. Shannon Dean, as you see here in the picture, he won the mayoral race. He became mayor of the city of Chestermere. All right, and he got 56% of the vote, which was about times more than his competitors. So that was something that was, I guess, he had a lot of support. And then apparently the majority of the residents agreed that he is a good choice, and that he also said that he will handle things the right way, and that he was very appalled to see how things were handled. He was there during the last administration, and he said that when he after they announced the winner. Kudos to the people of Chestermere. I hope you chose well. I wish you well, and I hope that things will be much better this time around, and this administration will do the right things. Now, this administration will only stay there for about a year, about 15 months. Now, Shannon Dean, the new mayor, said that he will run for re-election next year. Now, I guess if he does a good job, people will re-elect them, right? So again, all the best to the people of Chestermere for participating in this by-election that happened about, I believe it was last Sunday. So moving on from there. All right, so here we go. Now this is this is a very interesting picture, and now this is a image created by AI. So I fed some information to the machine, to AI, and they gave me this. They gave me this image, which I thought was very interesting. I had to try a couple of times because the AI didn't want to, give me something that was going to be to my liking. So I think this kind of capture a little bit of, So on the left here, you have Mr. Nenshi, our former mayor in Calgary, who is now the leader of the NDP. Now let's put on the banner here so we get a bit of context here, or a bit more information. There we go. So the Battle of Alberta. Now, why am I calling it a battle? Is it a battle? I mean, this is just a title that is given to the hockey teams, the Edmonton Oilers and the Calgary Flames. But in this instance, I think it applies a bit well, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, I'm going to share some videos with you to kind of explain how why I'm saying this, and then you may understand why I'm putting this caption here. So on the left side you have Mr. Nenshi, and on the right side you have Daniel Smith, or a representation of Daniel Smith. I don't think it's a very good representation, but a United Conservative Party, and Nenshi from is the new leader of the New Democratic Party. Now, why this is becoming a little bit of a puzzle, a tussle here, is because as soon as Mr. Nenshi took leadership of the NDP in the province of Alberta, he had a lot of, jabs, I guess, to give, to send to Danielle Smith and her administration, about the job they're doing, about, what they're representing, and about how they envision the future of the province. So I'm going to share with you a video, okay? And this video is the video response that Daniel Smith sent, right? That posted on, I believe, on social media, responding to some of the things that Naheed Nenshi had said about her, her administration, and how they're handling things. And in this video that you will see in a moment, she is portraying Mr. Nenshi as being in collusion with Justin Trudeau, the Prime Minister of Canada, saying that he is like him and he will make Alberta like what Justin Trudeau is doing or has done to Canada, right? So I'm going to see if this works. I haven't tried this before, so let's see. I was just testing this earlier. So you're going to see the ad that Daniel Smith put up or created through her party. So let's see here. I believe I'm going to have to share here. There we go. Okay, I think we have it. Okay, all right. So it should give us sound. So let's give this a try. Let's put play, and you can tell by yourself. This is 30 seconds. Okay, so we should go pretty fast.
New NDP leader Nenshi is Justin Trudeau's choice for Alberta. That's Nenshi helping Justin Trudeau defeat Stephen Harper in the 2015 federal election. When asked about Nenshi running for the NDP, Trudeau called Nenshi a strong mayor and said we should welcome his candidacy. Trudeau even tried to get Nenshi to run for his federal Liberal Party. We've had enough of Trudeau in Ottawa. We don't need one in Alberta. Nenshi, Trudeau's choice for Alberta.
All right. Whoops, I lost my page here. Here we go. All right. So that is what Daniel Smith, response to what Nenshi had said, right? And this is, attacking right, at the core of what Nenshi can be for the province if he were to win at the premiership next. I believe it is in about a couple of years, 2027. So, right out of the gate, they are getting their gloves ready and just throwing some jabs already at each other. So that's something that I wanted to share with you. Also, Nenshi, of course, being I guess very astute, didn't just want to be quiet and responded to the UCP and to Daniel Smith, and he had a bit to say. It wasn't an ad, but it was basically a video that he took of himself about about who he is and about what he intends to do and what he sees that the UCP is doing. So I'm going to share that with you here as well, so you can have both parts. Now, I want to be fair, and I don't want to put all the whole video from Mr. Nenshi. I just want to use the last 30 seconds of the video because I think that is going to be fair. I put up the 30 seconds of the UCP's response to Nenshi. Now I'm going to put the last 30 seconds of Nenshi's response to the UCP. So I believe that I'm going to get this here. One moment. Let's see here. All right, I'll be much faster next time, just getting the hang of this. Okay, yes, I think I got it there. Okay. All right, let's see. So last 30 seconds. Okay. All right, let me know if you hear this. Let's see.
Me and my NDP colleagues are laser focused on you. We need to figure out how you can all have a family doctor. We need to figure out how your kids, our kids, can have the education they deserve. And that's not what Danielle Smith and the UCP are about. So you know what? Let them. Let them pick their fights. Let them waste their money. And my job is to show you that you've got an alternative. You've got a home in the Alberta NDP. And together, we will build a better Alberta. For all of us, for our home. You know what? They are nothing if not predictable.
Whoop, that went a little bit over. Sorry. All right, let's remove that. Okay, so in a gist, that was the response from Nenshi, to the UCP. So that was something that is happening, and I think that we should all be aware that the two leaders of the main parties in the province are already at each other's throats. So let's see how that will play out in the next few weeks and months. Now let's move on here from and now let's see. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit about um, something about I guess the voting intention, right, for the main parties in the country. So, I saw here that ever since the government of Justin Trudeau took over in 2015, as you can see in this image, it's not a very clear image, but hopefully we can make ends of it. 2015, as you can see in the red, it has been declining for the most part. It's been on a downward spiral, and now they are near the 20%. And as you can see on the blue, the Conservative Party, the National Party, has picked up a little bit of momentum here, and they've increased all the way to high 30s, 40%. So why we talk about this is because the Liberal government has lost a lot of support lately, and it is being felt. And why it's being felt, and I'm going to touch a little bit on this about, is because there was a by-election here in Ontario, in a suburb of Toronto, which is a stronghold of the Liberals. They've always won this riding, but in this by-election, they lost it to the Conservatives. And this is something that some analysts like Mr. Don Braid at the Herald and others have sensed. They're saying that the Liberals are doomed, and they're going into extinction in these places where they used to be strong. So this is very interesting, right, to see that this lack of support uh, um, uh, to the Liberals is affecting them and is being shown in these elections. And this is, so to speak, what is going to be expected. Perhaps in the next few months and years when we go to the polls again in the new election. Now, 2027, people don't think that Justin Trudeau will last that long, right? So that is something that we'll have to see. But yeah, so they're saying that this is a hint. This is something that is a reflection of the frustration of the voters with the government. And even in places where Justin Trudeau and the Liberals were strong, they're starting to, falter a bit. So that is something that I also found this week and thought I'd share with you. Now, also, what I also saw now, this is on the other side. Now, you can also say that when you have a chance to attack now, political speaking, right? Now the UCP has the opportunity to attack the Liberals, right? But what happens here is that they need to have a strategy, right? So now that they see that the Liberals are a bit down, right, for the count, they may not be prepared to respond in terms of how are they going to respond? Which candidate is going to maybe give a fight to Trudeau and the Liberals in the next election? Now, what they're saying here is that Rob Breckenridge is saying that it's become clear that most Canadians want Trudeau to resign. Yeah, that is something that is being felt across the country. And that it's also clear, though, that the UCP isn't quite ready to let him go, right? So Justin Trudeau has become their punching bag, right? Now, without Justin Trudeau, what do they have to offer to show, to maybe convince voters that they are the right option? So now they have to also bring something to the table. And this is something also that they may not be ready to do just yet. So that is also going to be interesting to see how that plays out in the next few months as as they go into elections in a couple of years, and how much uh, um, the lack of support is going to hurt Justin Trudeau, and maybe he will call an election earlier than expected. And then what are the other parties also going to offer, right? The NDP, the UCP, right, and others, right? Quebec, right? So that is something interesting that I thought I share with you. So there we go. Now moving on. Now, just for the last part of the show, we're nearing here. 40 minutes. I think that is kind of the norm lately. I believe this went much better this time without some technical issues that we had last time. I had a few. Today, because if you notice, some of the titles were cut off, and even the font was not the right one that I had originally. So that is something that we're going to fix next time, including being on time. All right. So I wanted to share with you this passage. That now that it was Canada Day, right? I hope that you had a good time yesterday. And now I wanted to share with you. This is from A Short History of Canada. Actually, I'm reading this book right here, A Short History of Canada, and I found this passage right at the beginning of the book that I thought I'd share with you, right? In terms of, where we have been, where we are, and where we may end up as a country. So, D. Morton writes, 2017, last edition of this book. It goes as follows: whatever our future, we should understand how Canada has traveled through its most recent centuries to the present. If we follow that voyage, our history will give us confidence in change and compromise, and in some enduring truths about communities and families and human beings. It should also tell us that no ideas, however deeply held, last forever. All right, so I'm going to leave you with that. Thank you very much for tuning in. I hope that you can take a look at this program later on. And also, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and also support the channel if you can by scanning the QR code and supporting us that way if you can. So thank you very much for your viewership, your support, and we'll see you next time with a bit more of Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and the world. So it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much, and you have a good night. Bye bye.